Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we will learn how you can implement the basic flying mechanics using the Flying Nimbus with the motion matching character. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so now let's start with creating the basic flying mechanism for spawning this Nimbus Cloud, and our character will fly on top of it. I've already created this for the Wukong character, so I thought let's create this for this Echo character. So let's find this character. So the sandbox Echo is right over here. I'll open this up. Alright, so here we have the character. Inside here, let us add the Niagara system, and we'll call this ns_nimbus, and we'll get our Nimbus Cloud. So now we can just attach the socket as the root, and I'll put it as -90, somewhat like this, and you will find we have the cloud. So we actually missed a really important step, is our cloud system over here. We need to actually set both of them to local space. So we need to set this to local space. Let's hit compile and save this. And now I will set the visibility to false, and let's start with implementing. So I will have to add the input action. So have the jump input action. So input action jump right over here, which is actually triggering spacebar, and we will be creating a double press function. So what I want is, when I double press the jump key, I want the cloud to be visible, and we will set our character to flying mode. Alright, so for that we will create a new variable called as pressed amount. Let's set the variable to integer. Let's get it, and we will increment it, and we'll clamp it. So we will clamp it at 2. So we'll press it once, we'll press it twice. So once it increments, after it clamps to 2, I will set the amount over here. So basically these shortcuts are, when you hold the left control, we can get it, and when you hold the left alt and get the variable, it will set it. Alright, so right after this, what we will need, we will get this again, and we will check. So we will check whether this is equal to 2. So if it is equal to 2, branch, then what we will do, we will perform the spawning and etc. If not, then we can just reset it. So to reset it, what we will do, so let's create a macro first for this. So we'll connect these and right click, convert it into a macro. Let's rename this as double press. Alright, I'll open this up. So if it is true, and if it is false, we'll just reset this. So I will add a re-triggerable delay. So we can increase this, and we will reset this to 0. Alright, and put it right over here. So pressed, released. Alright, so again, what this will do, we'll get the pressed amount, it will clamp it, and it will check whether it is pressed twice. Alright, so if it is pressed, then we will perform the action. If not, then we'll reset it again. So go to the event graph, let us print it and test it out. So if pressed, I'll print like pressed, and after 0.5 seconds it will reset. Okay, let's play and check it out. So pressed and reset, pressed and reset. If I try to jump here, it will not be called. It is getting reset, which is fine because it is just pressed once. But if we double press, so that re-triggerable delay amount, that will be necessary for actually setting the threshold for when to reset it. Alright, so I'll just put this. So what we can do is we can get the Nimbus Cloud and we can make it visible, set visibility to true and false. So we'll set visibility to true. If not, we'll set the visibility to false. Okay, but before that, what we will do is we will set our, so from here we'll actually need a flip-flop. So what I want is, if I press it once and if I press it again, so I want to make it visible. If I press it again, I want to hide it. Alright, somewhat like this. Let us compile, save and compile. Alright, so pressed, it is walking with us. Double press again, it is gone. So that's how it is. Okay, now we will set our movement mode. So right over here, let's get back to our blueprint. Okay, we will be doing this afterwards. Before that, we will set our character mode. Alright, so what I want is, I want my character to jump first. I'll add a bit of a delay. Let me just remove that. I'll add default delay amount, and I'll set the movement mode of the not from here. I'll get the character movement and I will set movement mode. I'll set it to flying. Alright, so I'll set this to flying, and from here we can directly connect over here. We can also add animations. So what I did in Wukong, that I added an idle animation when I was inside the cloud. So I can duplicate right over here. I set the movement mode to walking again. Over here, flying, actually not falling. Okay, so now if I do, yep, so it is in the flying state. You will see the animation, which is somewhat like this, and if I double press again, it will fall and set the mode to walking. So it is looking somewhat like this. So as I said, now what we can do is we can set the animation. What I did in Wukong is set the animation to idle. So we can do the same. So over here, before making it visible, you can get the echo. You can set animation mode first. You can set the animation mode to animation asset, and then we can set animation. So we can select the animation or like idle. So we can find multiple idle animations over here. So here we have the idle animation of Shinbi character. Here we have of Morigeish character. So, and after this, we're gonna reset this to animation blueprint right over here. select animation blueprint, and also you can set cam style close, and let us split this, duplicate this over here. We can set the arm length, so we can increase like 550. We can increase the FOV as well, somewhat like this, and there you go. We can set the looping to true of this animation. Set animation, instead of set animation we're gonna play animation, idle animation. Plug it over here, set it to true, select any idle animation. So I think this one should work. Right. Well, it looks really weird because the skeleton is different. So yeah, you can either select idle of echo character. There we have it. Let's get this one. Alright, so this works. So here we have the flying, and we are just flying in pressing W and with the mouse. So to actually move up and down, what we can do is we can use the mouse axes. Alright, so also we can just catch it in between of the air. Okay, so to control the axes, we can have a different input axis, input action of look up and down. So here we can use mouse up and down. You can create an input event of that. Alright, so now we can get again character movement. If it is flying, then we can, if it is flying, let's set the branch, we can get the player pawn, and from the player pawn we're gonna get up vector, and we are going to add movement input in upwards direction with this value. This value we can multiply it by, I'll multiply it by -10, minus because it is inverted. I'm gonna put it right over here, and we'll be able to control. So if I look up, if I look down, as you can see, if I look up it is going upwards, if I look down it is going down. Not the best solution for this, but I found this control a bit simpler, right? So of course over here you can play with the values. If you want it to be more sensitive, make it 50, so it will go up faster or go down faster. Alright, so I will stick to -20, and also it will be great if we can actually get the mesh itself, and we can add local rotation to it. So I'm gonna split, and I'm gonna multiply this with maybe 2, add it over here to an x-axis. So what this will give, like we are moving the cloud as well, so somewhat like this. So yeah, that is how you can actually add the flying mechanics using the cloud. Well, you can see that we do not have the cloud, the shadow of the cloud. You can add a static mesh over there. So one thing you will notice, after you despawn, you will find your character somewhat like this, because we were adding the local rotation. So for this you can reset it local rotation as well. So we are going to open up the sandbox character, and after you are done, before this, what we can do is set relative rotation of the mesh itself, and yeah, we can set it to 0. Right. So also one thing that you can do, so while sprinting, so I have the sprint event, a sprint, yep, this one, input action. So when you are sprinting and is flying is true, you can increase the speed of flying. So hold B to get a branch. If it is flying, I will get the character movement again, and we can set max fly speed. So we can set it to, I don't remember what is the default flying speed. It is 600, so we can just multiply it by 2. Alright, so if it is false, then we can set it to 600 again. To the target, if it is false, set to 600 again. Also, one thing that can be done is inside your Nimbus Cloud, we have set the user parameter of the color. So over here, you can change it inside your Nimbus Niagara particle system. So we can also use the color of the particle. So let us just multiply, and we'll just connect this over here and use this as an emissive color. Now just hit apply. So what you can do is you can set the base color over here. So whatever color you would like, if you set it over here. So currently in our material we do not have set any top color and bottom color, so but still we will have this base color, as you can see. And so here you can define the other colors just as you like. So save this, and if I would like to set it just a little bit of tint, and there you go, we have the bottom color and the base color as well. So that is how you can actually implement the mechanics of the Nimbus Cloud. So of course there you will find that we do not have any shadow of the clouds, so you can get a static mesh over there as well and apply this material to it for that. Alright, so that is how you can implement the basic flying mechanics, and let me know what other things would you like to see being made from the Wukong series as well. In the next video I'll be focusing on the after image particle system and its mechanism. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for that.